Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah and a very good day to everyone. Alright, so welcome back to my fun physics world. So today we look at my school trial paper. So this is paper 3. And if you look here, the date supposed to be held in October 2020, but then due to COVID, PKP, right? So we have it last month, which is in January 2021. All right, so this is actually my students' paper. Okay, I put the excellent. See, I finished my marking on 7 February, so it means that just finished the marking. Already give back the paper to the student. Now, so I'm using this paper. Can see that we have two sections, right? Section A and section B. Section A, wajib, need to answer both question. And in section B will be option, can choose either to answer question number 3 or question number 4. And look at this. Okay, so my student here get perfect score. So where he get 40 out of 40. Alright, so congratulations. Okay, so I'm using his paper because I think this can motivate other. If my student can, I think you all also can. Alright, so need to build up your motivation. Alright, now look at question number 1. Okay, so this paper is actually following the SPM format. Alright, so because my colleague and I get the question from soalan-soalan negeri and also soalan tahun lepas. Okay, now look at section A, question number 1. So a student carries out an experiment to investigate the relationship between the increase of temperature theta and the mass of water m. Okay, so if you see the word relationship, you can circle this. Okay, because this is the important keyword. Then the word relationship will be followed by two variables, which is the manipulated and responding. Okay, so can bracket this. Okay, increase of temperature theta, and you can bracket this also, mass of water m. Okay, so either one of these will be manipulated and the other one will be responding. But to confirm which one is the manipulated, you need to search for the word repeated. Okay, so I scroll down. So this is the diagram, the apparatus setup. So you can see we are using the immersion heater, immersed in water, and then the immersion heater is connected to the power supply. Then can see here we have thermometer. Okay, and then is it the beaker tissue, kertas tissue, okay, wrap around the container, right? Now, so a heater a heater is immersed in water and the heater is switched on. So after 4 minutes, the maximum temperature theta 1 is recorded. Okay, so diagram 1.2 shows the initial temperature. This diagram 1.2 shows the initial temperature. So can see here they already placed a blank for you to fill in. Okay, so look at the diagram and then you can put ruler, can draw line, okay, to make sure that your reading will be no parallax error. So my student here already draw a line. The line here is not given in the question. So this one he draw himself. Okay, so this will be the reading. Okay, so if from here actually obvious, this is 20, 25, 26, this will be 27, all right, 27. But then if you are afraid of making careless mistake, what you can do will be to mark this. Okay, see 20, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, because I see some of the students are quite careless where they read the diagram wrongly. Okay, be careful lah, because this one sangat-sangat cerewet lah. Salah sedikit, you miss the mark already. Okay, now, so the reading is 27. Then diagram 1.3 shows the maximum temperature theta 1, okay, for the mass m, 0.1 kilogram. Okay, so here, then of course you need to fill in the blank. Now, do you see this word? The procedure is then repeated. diulang. When you see this word repeated, diulang with the mass jisim. Alright, so with the mass, so we know that the mass will be the manipulated variable. Okay, it means that the increase of temperature will be the responding variable. Okay, so go back to the first line. Okay, now we already know that the mass of the water is the manipulated variable. And then the increase of temperature will be the responding variable. So you can quickly fill in the answer for the first one, A, right? Okay, kita baca laju. Okay, so this will be mass 0.2 kilogram, 0.3 kilogram, 0.4 kilogram, 0.5 kilogram. Okay, so as usual, the first question asking about the manipulated variable, salin. Copy the first line just now, mass of water. It's good to write symbol. Okay, mass of water, you write symbol. And then the responding variable will be the increase of temperature. Okay, write the symbol. So can get this from the first sentence. Now, what is the fixed variable? So now, selalunya student ada problem to determine what is the fixed variable. So if you look at this question, okay, the experiment, so it relate mass and increase of temperature. Okay, so what formula actually relating mass and increase of temperature? Okay, so do you remember this? Q equal mc theta, alright? And then can see that the experiment is using immersion heater, means Q here actually come from the electrical energy. So means that power of the immersion heater times time. Okay, so equal mc theta. Alright, boleh ingat? So that's why you need to memorize the formula. So from here, so we already know that m is the manipulated variable, because the word repeated just now. And then the increase of temperature or the change in temperature will be the responding variable. So your constant variable will be, okay, the answer that can be given mark will be this. Q means that heat energy, or this specific heat capacity, or you can also give power of the heater and time taken. Okay, remember P here is not power supply. If you write power supply, wrong. Okay, P here is the power of the immersion heater. Okay, now look at my student's answer. Right, time of heating. So you can just write enough to write one physical quantity here. Alright, so you can write power of the heater, you can write time of heating, you can write specific heat capacity, you also can write the heat energy. But if you write power supply, sometimes students write this power supply. Alright, so this one we reject. Wrong. Why wrong? Because this is an apparatus. Okay, so this is not a physical quantity. Is it clear? Hopefully it is clear. Okay, next. So based on diagram just now, record the reading of theta naught. So this is the initial temperature just now, right? So the answer already given, 27 degrees Celsius. Then after that, you need to calculate 1 over m for each m. Okay, so means that you need to calculate 1 divided by the mass for each mass. So the mass is 1. And then record the reading for theta 1. Then for each value of theta 1 in B3, means that here, so calculate the increase of temperature theta using the formula below. Paper 3 is like this. Whenever they want you to calculate something, so they normally give you the formula. Okay, so you use the formula. Can see formula here is theta equal theta 1 minus theta naught. Okay, setakat ni boleh faham? Okay, so diagram 3.1.3 shows the maximum temperature theta 1 for M 0.1 kg. Okay, so given already here, M is 0.1 kg, and then need to calculate 1 over M. So tekan calculator, so means that this value, 1 over M here, is actually 1 divided by this M, which means 0.1. So you need to use your calculator, get the answer, and then write your answer here. Okay, so normally our answer will be at least to have 1 decimal place. Okay, because here is one decimal place. So at least to have one or two decimal place. Make it consistent, alright? And then the unit already given, okay? So since this is kilogram, so 1 over m means 1 over kilogram is per kilogram. Alright, next one. So theta 1 is the reading here. So as just my advice just now. So if you are afraid of making careless mistake, so you do like this. Okay, gariskan and then hitung betul-betul. Okay, so this is 47. And then theta will be theta 1 minus theta naught. So theta 1 is 47, theta naught just now is 27. Tekan calculator. Alright, so the answer is 20. Now, how do you know whether to write decimal, got decimal place or not after the reading of the temperature? So what you can do will be to look at two scale here. Let's say 40 and 30. Okay, so tolaklah 40, 40, tolak 30. And then divide by the number of division in between 40 and 30. Can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So means that divide by 10. So 40 minus 30 is 10. 10 divide by 10 you get 1. Okay, there is no decimal place. So jangan tulis tempat perpuluhan. Okay. Alright, so the second diagram, okay, repeat with this value. Then the second diagram here, okay, so 30, 35, 36, 37, okay. And then the mass is 0.2, so 1 over 0.2, get this. And then the change in temperature minus theta 1 minus theta naught, just now you get 10. Okay. Alright, so this will be for the mass of 0.3 kg. Okay, same thing. Okay, you record your data and then can see here 1 over m is 3.33. Okay, so 2 decimal place also. So next one, can see. Hopefully this one no problem. Hopefully. So here 30. Okay, another one that I better remind you. So the meniscus need to be careful. This is mercury, so the meniscus is like this. Right, like that. So you get the lengkungan dekat atas. The curve like that. If this is the liquid. And then if let's say the meniscus water, let's say lengkung ke bawah like that. Okay, so this is the water, right? So your reading should be taken from the curve also. Okay, lengkungan di bawah bukan not here. Here salah. Okay, bukan here, wrong. It should be dekat bawah lengkungan. Okay, that is a reminder. Okay, 0.5. So 1 over m is 2. Don't forget to add in decimal place. 2.00. Okay, and then theta 1 here is 31. Okay, 31 minus 27, you get your theta. Okay, next question. Tabulate your result. Tabulate your result for m, 1 over m, theta 1 and theta in the space below. Okay, so when you tabulate your data, so need to be careful. Check on the value that they give, the quantity that they give. It should be arranged, okay, for starting from the manipulated variable and then the responding variable. So if let's say the arrangement is not in sequence, okay, make sure you remember to write manipulated first. But normally they will give you in sequence, alright? So here mass, okay, mass, and then 1 over m, and then your theta 1, and theta. Okay, so when you write your data in table form, means that when you tabulate your data in table form, remember you need to draw the border of your table lah. Mesti ada border, mesti ada. And then the title should at least have the symbol and the unit. Okay, like this is m, 1 over m, kan? And then theta 1, theta. So for the symbol m, 1 over m, theta 1, theta, that will be the first tick. Tick yang pertama. And then the second tick will be for the unit. Okay, per kilogram, per kilogram. Here is a trick. Careful. And then temperature, degree Celsius. Increase of temperature is in degree Celsius also. Okay, at least you have the symbol of the quantity and the unit of the quantity. Alright. But since I said this is a perfect answer, so good to write the name of the physical quantity like that. Okay, then you tabulate your data. The mass just now, in the question they give one decimal place, so you don't add in decimal place for this. Just follow the question. Can see here? Here the mass is 0.5. So dekat bawah pun sama. Okay, just salin. Jangan tambah You don't add in. So if no decimal place, then just copy, okay, for the manipulated variable. So just now they give you one decimal place. So salin semua, and then your 1 over m, okay, just now is 10, right? Don't forget, need to make sure you have consistent number of decimal place here. And then the temperature, no decimal place. This one also the same thing. Okay. Now, since the question, this one is 2 marks, so we only give for the symbol of the quantity and the unit of the quantity, but make sure inside here already written correctly. Okay, then on the graph paper, draw graph of theta against 1 over m. Alright, so here remember, the first variable mentioned must be the vertical axis, so it means that theta here is the vertical axis. Okay, and then next, the second variable mentioned, okay, should be the horizontal axis. So 1 over m is your horizontal axis. Okay, look at the diagram. Okay, so the graph given in SPM paper, normally it will be colored. Okay, the graph will be colored. And then the title normally will be already written here, just like this. Okay, so graph of theta against 1 over m. Okay, so the vertical axis must be theta, and then the horizontal axis will be 1 over m. Okay, so hopefully you can see this, can zoom, hopefully can see lah. Now, how to get the marks? So there will be 7 ticks on the graph. Okay, so 7 ticks will be equivalent to 5 marks. Alright, so tick 1, tick 2 will be for the title. Can see here, theta and 1 over m, that will be the first tick here, I wrote here, 1 tick. And then the unit, degree Celsius, here is per kilogram, the second tick. And then the scale, okay, make sure you write even scale. Okay, don't write odd scale. It should be even scales, easy for you to read. And then make sure you tandakan this 0. Okay, make sure tandakan 0. And then please mark it like that. Okay, so this will be the third mark. So we look at both scale, it should be uniform scale. Then the coordinate, make sure you transfer the point correctly from your table to the graph. So if let's say all the point transferred correctly, all tick, so you will get this double tick, tick 4 and tick 5. Alright, and then the best fit graph will be tick 6, and then the size of the graph will be tick 7. So make sure when you plot your graph, at least the size of your graph is 5 times 4, at least, of this square. Okay, so this is about 2 cm lah. It means that if you measure by using ruler, it will be around 10 cm times 8 cm. Okay, so means that we measure like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least like that. Okay, but bigger better. Okay, bigger is better. Okay, so from this graph, we know that this is a directly proportional graph. So make sure another thing that you need to remember will be lengthen your graph. Although the points start from here, but make sure you lengthen this. Okay, lengthen your graph so that it touch the axis. Okay, in order for you to get the marks for the relationship, this mark. Okay, so I just increase the size. See, based on the graph, state the relationship between theta and 1 over m. Okay, so the answer is theta is directly proportional to 1 over m. In order to get this mark, so it must be proof in your graph. So it means that you must lengthen your graph, let it touch the axis, alright? So start from origin. Okay, then you can get this mark. Okay, hopefully that is clear. Okay, question number 2. So a student carries out an experiment to investigate the distance between the frequency f and 2 consecutive loud sound. Oh, to investigate the frequency and the distance between two consecutive loud sound. So the result of the experiment is shown in the graph of f against 1 over x as shown in the diagram 2.1. So based on the graph in 2.1, so number 1, state the relationship between f and 1 over x. Okay, so this one you need to refer to the graph. So jawapan is f increases linearly with 1 over x. Is it correct or not? Okay, come we look at the graph. So this is the graph, nampak? Okay, so this is 1 over x, and then the vertical axis is f. Okay, so you can see it obvious it is a straight line graph, but does it come from origin? No. Okay, not from origin. Actually, the graph stop until here. Okay, so my student lengthen it. Okay, lengthen so that it touch the axis. Okay, now to get mark for the relationship, make sure you lengthen the graph, let it touch the axis. So obvious here, the graph does not start from origin. Okay, so the graph does not start from the origin here. So the graph cut at this point, which is more than 100. Okay, so means that this is an increased linearly graph. Okay, so you write your answer as f increases linearly with 1 over x. Okay, is it clear? Jelas, huh? Okay, that's why correct. So f increases linearly with 1 over x. Okay, next one. So determine the value of f when the value of x is 0.9 meter. Okay, so you need to determine the value of f when x 0.9 meter. And then you look at the marks here is 3 marks. So just now you know that the graph is graph of f against 1 over x. Okay, f against 1 over x, but they give you x. So 3 marks. So the first mark will be you need to change this x, okay, so that it will be in 1 over x. Means that bahagikan lah, right? So x is 0.9. Okay, so 1 over x is 1 divided by 0.9. So you get this answer. Okay, it's good to write unit behind. Okay, so per meter, right? So that will be the first mark. The second mark will be in your graph. Okay, show how you get the value of f. And then the final answer will be the value of f with the correct unit. Okay, so that will be the mark number 3, the third mark. Now we look at mark number 2. So you can see here, right here. So we know that 1 over x is 1.11. Be careful, jangan salah titik. Okay, look at the point carefully. So this is 1, this is 1.2. So means that 1.1 will be in here, middle here. So you show on your graph, okay, using dotted line. Solid line also no problem. Okay, touch the graph and then lengthen. Okay, here. So this is your F, which mean careful lah baca betul-betul. So sayang jangan hilang markah ya. Okay, so the answer is 820. Don't forget the unit. Okay, just follow the unit on the graph. Okay, so that is the answer. Okay, clear? Okay, next one. So calculate the gradient m, okay, of the graph of f against 1 over x. Okay, so show on the graph how you determine the value of m. Alright, so the gradient normally will give you 3 marks. Okay, so 3 marks. So the first mark will be the triangle in your graph. And then the second mark will be the substitute value here. And then the third mark will be your final answer with unit. Okay, so we look at the graph again. Okay, so make sure you draw your triangle. I can see here, this is a triangle. I reduce the size of the graph so that you can see it clearer. Like that now. So you draw your triangle. Like that. So can see here, this is the triangle that my student draw from this point. Easy for you to read lah if you get from here. Nanti here and then tarik ke atas lah here. Oh. Make sure you use your ruler. And then tandakan 90 degree. Okay, because when you put 90 degree here and when you add in this, okay, it will be obvious. So the marker know, oh, this is your first mark for your gradient. Okay. So the second mark, it's good to also write the coordinate. Okay, this one is for your garis panduan lah. Okay, so the coordinate tulis terus. Then you calculate your gradient. Okay, gradient will be changes in the vertical axis divided by changes in horizontal axis here. Okay, so hopefully you know how to determine this. Alright, hopefully you know how to determine this. If let's say you have problem to determine the gradient, okay, please write in the chat box before comment below. Alright, I will make a special video for this lah if let's say you have problem. Okay, then for the unit, we know just now the vertical axis is in the frequency. Frequency is in hertz. Okay, so vertical axis over horizontal axis, which is 1 over m. So it means that per meter, like that, right? Okay. So now you can bring m up. So the unit become m hertz. And then, okay, if you just leave your answer like this, means that just copy this, this value, m hertz like this. Just leave like this, also already can get mark. But if let's say the question state what is the unit that you need to write, then you need to change it. Just like this, hertz is per second. So m as -1, alright, like that. Okay. And then leave your answer in at least 2 decimal place. 2 to 4 decimal place will be selamat. Okay, B. The speed of sound wave V is given by the formula. Okay, again, see, they give you formula V equal to Fx over D. So using the formula, answer and the answer in 2A3, which is the gradient, calculate the value of V when D is 1.8 meter. So you use this formula and you need to use your answer, means that you use the gradient that you calculate just now to calculate the value of V when D is 1.8 meter. So here is normally is a 3 marks question. Now, to get 3 marks, so you must know where does that mark come from. So the first mark will be how you relate the answer, the gradient that you calculate just now here, and the formula that they give. So the gradient, okay, is somewhere in the formula. You need to be alert with this. Alright, so can see here. Now, the gradient m, okay, is equal to changes in the f-axis over changes in the horizontal axis, 1 over x-axis. So, from here, you can bring this up. Okay, so 1 per x boleh bawa naik, right? It become like that. Okay, hopefully this one have no problem. So, means that the gradient m is equal to 1 over f. Alright, so here. Here is actually 1 mark. Okay, here. So means that when you change m and 1 over f, mark 1. And in mark 2, substitute the value. So m will be the gradient in the previous question. Just salin nombornya sama and then divide by d. D is given 1.8 here. Okay, already given here. So your answer, how to calculate? So you see now the gradient is in the gradient just now, unit for gradient is in meter per second. Okay. Meter per second. And then V. This is weird. So here, the gradient is in meter per second, right? And then here is, oh, ada masalah dengan unit. Okay. Alright. I think ada masalah sedikit with the question. I don't realize also. Okay. Yeah, it should be in. Sepatutnya because the formula is velocity, it should be in meter per second. Okay, so just like that. Okay, Now, what happened to the value of V when the value of M increases? Okay, M increases. So just use the formula. Okay, what happened to V when M increases? From here we know. Okay, so when M increases, V also will increases. Only 1 mark. And last one, so this one, cikgu, I never see paper 3 without this question. You hafal this one lah. Hafal, memorize it. Okay, so one precaution that should be taken to improve accuracy of the reading in the experiment. Yang paling senang will be writing about the parallax error. So just remember, memorize this sentence. Eyes must be perpendicular to the reading on the scale of, this one you can change. Okay, meter rule. In this case, yes, we use meter rule because you need to measure the length kan. So you see, if let's say need to measure length, you put meter rule. If need to measure time, you put stopwatch. Okay, if let's say need to measure voltage, you put voltmeter. Current, you put ammeter. Alright, so just change this part. Yang lain hafal. Alright, so we already finished question number 2. Okay, for section B, I think I will record another video. Okay, so this is section B. Okay, so diagram showing the experiment, and then this is number 3, and then this is number 4. All right. Okay, something to do with electromagnet. Okay, so I record this video separate now with section A. Okay, so after you have finished watching section A, question number 1, number 2, don't forget to go to my next video. Alright, so see you in next video. Okay, bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.